we're going to use the boom on
The boom only?
I should have written it's pretty darn good, actually.
Okay.
Hey, quiet.
That was a good 10 seconds for that.
Yeah, that was good.
There's like a little snap there.
Switch it over. Did you send me tone again? Oh, now it's really quiet. This is bad.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah, tone looks good. On one. On two only. Okay, I'll switch over to camera mic on one. Right. All right.
Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's start with that. Can you spell out your first and last name and tell me your title?
Max, M-A-X, Friedman, F-R-E-E-D-M-A-N. And my title is I'm the president and CEO of ER4C, Everyone for Christ.
Okay. Great. And what's your relationship to Nick?
Nick is one of the kids that I sponsor here through Sky High. These kids come here and train, and they don't have to pay a fee. This is something that we do as myself as a company. It's what I do. I invest in kids like this to make sure they get out of trouble. They don't stay out on the streets and cause trouble or get into the alcohol, drugs. And so give them an outlet. And being that I'm a Christian organization, I try to build a foundation with them. And lead them in the right direction so they could be mentors for other kids. One day I'm not going to be here, so I hope that, in return, they take, charge and they become mentors to other kids and, maybe not follow my footsteps, but do whatever they want to do and lead others, in the same direction.
Tell me about Nick's heart.
Nick's heart. That's an interesting story. I have not known Nick, for a year or so. I've known him less than that. First time I saw Nick, I watched him, on the mat and stuff like that. I asked a few people, wow, that guy's amazing on the ground. And then, they started telling me the story about him with his heart condition. So I know that Nick had a heart surgery, a heart transplant, when he was at a young age, at 7 years old. And, he's lived with that same heart now for 10 years, which is by God's grace, that he's still, with that same heart. And now he's at that point where only God knows if he's going to need a new heart or if he's going to continue with that same heart. Because, there's stories of people that have lived, with 15 up to 20 years. So, I know he's had a problem with his heart, and we just got to keep praying for it that either he gets a new one or that one heals up.
You watched him train for the first time. You didn't know you had no clue. By just by watching that, you had any idea. Yeah,
no clue. I mean, it was just like seeing any other guys that I watch, train and that I look at for as guys that I would like to be involved in and see, what their relationship is with the gym. So I watched him and I saw him just like any other teenager guy out there that is putting all his effort into a sport. And, I had no clue. And then when I found out, it was just like I said, it touched my heart. And it was something that, I prayed for, that I could get closer to him and that, and I could build that relationship of trust and friendship where, we could work together.
How surprising when you heard it.
You know what? It's one of those things that you take, we take life for granted. You never really know, what people are dealing with or walking, day to day, on a day-to-day basis. You have no clue. You may see people that are down and you think, oh, that guy's just, a grouch or, this and that. But you really never know until you get to meet those people. So it was a wow factor to me, just unbelievable, no clue. One of those things that you have no clue, and it's just impressive.
How concerned are you for him?
Very concerned because I love Nick. I love the guys here. I love everyone that has had a hard life. Just as myself. So I put myself in their shoes, and you know what? it's something that concerns me, but I have a strong faith in Christ that He knows what He's doing, you know, and He is the one that created us, and He knows, you know, what He's going to do for us. So I put Nick in God's hands myself and pray for him that, you know, he is going to be okay. So the concern is someday, sometime, we all know our light's going to be turned off, you know, and stuff. So we just don't know when. And with Nick, my concern is that he just takes care of himself and follows instructions, you know, and just be patient. You know, I know he's been patient for many years and stuff, but sooner or later, you know, God has a purpose for all of us, and this is, I think, God has a purpose for Nick to heal up, get better, and go witness to other people and inspire other guys. You know, not only MMA fighters for sure, because, you know, a lot of MMA fighters just, you know, sometimes it's tiring, the training and everything, right? So with Nick being in his, you know, physical condition, he can inspire so many guys to try even harder, because if he can do it, anyone can do it. So he just has to take care of himself and, you know, kind of calm down when he needs to, and then he'll be okay. So like I said, I put it all in Christ's hands, and that, you know, He'll know which direction that He's going to go and stuff.
How positive is Nick in life?
You know what? To me, Nick is 100% positive, because he is here. He is here training, you know, daily and stuff. Even if he feels tired, you know, he still goes. And I have not, you know, spent as much time watching him, you know, with everything he does. But the times that I've been here and watched him, he's just incredible. Never gives up. Never gives up.
Does that never give up attitude kind of inspire you personally?
Oh yeah, you know, it's like many days I think I want to give up. You know, with daily struggles and just with overall, you know, like economy and, you know, day-to-day things that you go through, and how people can put you down and stuff. But you know, it's one of those things where, you know, with fighting in a cage, in a ring, in a mat, you know, you get knocked out, you get dropped, but guess what? You get up and you keep going, and that's what inspires me about him, because with his life, he's never given up. Many people would have given up, you know, especially within that age, but he hasn't, you know. So that inspires me to say, you know what, Nick, I'm going to help you, and you're helping me. You know, that's the way I see it. We're both helping each other, you know, and so therefore, it's big inspiration. It just keeps me motivated, you know, and when I feel aches and pains, I look at Nick and say, Nick, if he can do it, I can do it.
How does his energy and determination rub off on everyone else here?
I think, you know, everyone, same thing, sees him as inspiration, and if they know, you know, that they're healthy, you know, and there's maybe a sore throat, you know, common cold or anything like that, if they see Nick, what he's going through with the struggles physically, they can honestly set that aside and say, well, this is just a common cold, it's going to go away. Nick's problem hasn't gone away yet, you know, so they look at him and say, wow, you know, if he can do it, I can do it, same thing.
How much has he overcome?
He's overcome too much, you know. It says that, you know, in the Bible, God can only give you so much that you can handle. Well, I think it's Nick can handle a lot, you know, because he's been able to overcome many things, you know, not only physically, but you know, personal things that he has gone through.
Is he an example to not just people inside of this gym, but outside of the gym?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You know, I think people have to get to know him. You know, of course, like I said, you know, if you meet someone on the street, you don't really know what their condition is or anything. You really don't know how a person can be an example. But Nick carries himself well, you know, and you know, as long as you walk the walk, you talk the talk type of thing, you know, it's what you got to do. And Nick has that positive mentality, the attitude where he wants to become a leader, he wants to become a mentor, you know, from the conversations we have. He really wants to, he's a go-getter. You know, and that's a really positive attitude, you know, for people when they meet him, you know, they could feel that, they could see it in him.
What are some of his characteristics that will make him a good, strong leader or a good mentor?
He's smart, you know, he's smart. You know, Nick has many many ideas that him and I, we talked to, so over lunch from my experience, and dealing with, young guys and stuff like that, many times when you have conversations with teenagers, they don't really see the future, they're living day to day. Nick doesn't. Nick, lives, and sees, and we've talked about how he wants to make a place better, how he wants to put programs together. So what's inspiring is that he's not looking at, hey, I could be gone tomorrow. He's looking at, there's something out there for me and I want to put out for everyone else.
How emotional is it when you just any given day you get just see him train full speed?
You know what? I'm a hardcore guy. I've learned not to, maybe not break down. It's not that I don't have a soft heart, but things, to touch my heart, I can honestly say, it gets teary-eyed, because it's just inspirational. I love, from kids to adults that do something with themselves, that just don't give up, that don't give up attitude. It just doesn't, it's just not right. So by seeing him, it touches my heart, and really every night, and every day I get up, I pray for Nick that, he's alive, that he's good, and that he's going to go out and overcome everything that's gonna attack him, during the day. So it is touching, and it gets teary-eyed. It's emotional.
Knowing him, do you see him giving up whatever has put in front of him? No.
Nick could be given anything, and he could overcome it. It's that attitude that there's something in him that's hard. He's hard inside, and he's not going to give up. And that's what I see that he doesn't. He's not going to give up, and there's something out for him out there.
Great, beautiful. I think we're good, guys.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Well said. Well spoken.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
That was my first time, huh?
Good talker.
All right.
Oh, no.